Yeah, okay, well I'm back on now. Just spoke to a lovely lady with a staffy called Cooper. He's 10. We just had a little chat and I took a photo for her of them together. A couple of walkers went by. Yeah, I was just earlier talking about some of my school days. Sheila's school days. Yeah, like I said, Miss Barnett inspired me for English literature. And I've never forgotten her. I always got on well with her. She was of old school. You could have put her in the Victorian age. You know, she was old school. Used to have plaited hair tied back on top of her head. And tweedy type, you know, skirts and tops. And she could drive, because when I broke my collarbone that time, she drove me to the hospital. And she stayed there till my mum arrived. My mum knew her as well. And, yeah, she took me to the hospital. And I used to have English literature lessons with her. And loved every minute of it. Mrs. Walker I loved for science, because I loved arts and sciences. I've always believed in both, that you can do both. They both intermingle with one another. I mean, you could look at the plants, they photosynthesize, but they also provide beauty. I had a young teacher, Miss Yule her name was, she was our sports teacher. I didn't quite get on with her as such. She couldn't really control me. I mean, I was a bit naughty sometimes. It's like when we used to do that game in the gym where you had to run about and, you know. I mean, I climbed up this rope once and I wouldn't get down. And they'd invented black marks in the school. I was the first pupil to get 3 in one go for not coming down from the rope. Oh God, yeah, no, Miss Barnett really had a go at me once though, because it was election day. And we used to still go to school, even when the election, but the hall would be used for the voters. And our school was very conservative. But of course, my mum was still alive. I must have been about 13. And we didn't have to wear a school uniform that day. For some reason, they said you can come in ordinary clothes. Or I got it wrong. And I wore these white trousers and everyone else had uniform on, but I thought we didn't have to that day. So I got dragged into Miss Barnett's office, who's the headmistress as well as the teacher. And she got out from the cupboard this big, very large gym skirt. And she said, "You've got to wear this, Sheila. You're not staying in school with those white trousers on." And I had a big rosette on my jumper, by the way, as well. Anyway, my friend Jane Kemish, she came with me. And I said to her, "Jane, I'm going. I had to get my bike from the bike shed. I'm not staying here, Jane. I'm not wearing that skirt, that big baggy skirt." Right? It was horrible. So I went home. Anyway, my mum, we never had a phone in the home. She went up the phone box. So I told my mum what happened. And she knew Miss Barnett. They were on friendly terms, because Miss Barnett knew all my sisters. I was the last of the woods and the wildest. And then my sister Margaret, I think, was quite wild. I was a free spirit. My mum spoke to her on the phone and it was all okay. But I remember that. I remember key moments of school life. Lots of them, actually. I mean, I pioneered the cross country for our school. We had a type of male PE teacher that we used to have sometimes, and he wanted to start up a running club, because we used to do cross country, and he wanted to get a little club going, and I joined it along with several of my friends. And I used to love running in the countryside. And he put us in for competitions. And I came second once. I nearly came first. I came second in a race down in Taunton. For some Somerset race I went in. I came second. I don't know what happened to that certificate. I had it for years. I might still have it, actually. Anyway, the reason I didn't win is my DAP, we used to call them then, not pumps or plimsolls. In my day, we called them DAPs. Black DAPs we had for PE. Not proper running shoes. It was awful, really. Anyway, one of my DAPs came off. And I was doing well in the race. And I had to run with it in my hand. Because I would have been I wouldn't even come second if I'd tried to put it on. Yeah, little events like that I remember. And I was in the netball team. Wing attack, I was. We used to have to go swimming down the Lido. So everyone had to learn to swim. And it was, I liked it, but we were always frozen to death. You had to learn to swim fast. Otherwise you were the pupils that had to hang on the side and kick your feet behind you. I learned to swim quickly. So I didn't have to do that and go around with a float. You know, I could tell you so many stories about Sheila's school days, as we all can. We all can. I mean, I used to moan about my school. It was a small school, a girls' school for most of the time. It became co-educational towards the end of my school career there, which is where I met my first boyfriend, at the school dance. I'll go into that another time. Oh, he helped me a lot when my mum died as well. Actually, he was a big rock for me. John. He was a big rock. So were some of my female friends. Big rocks. God, look at the stream, everyone. Wow, it's really low. There's a storm coming tonight, folks. Trees. I can see a bone in there as well. Or is it a bone? Look at that. Yeah, I could have hurt my foot, you know, jumping across the streams a couple months ago. Yeah, so, yeah, lots of tales of school. Like I said, it was a small school. Everybody knew everyone. It was like a big family. We had a full orchestra. Well, we had a stringed orchestra and some other bits and pieces, like clarinets and stuff. And then when the boys joined, we started having trumpets and things like that come along. And there was a youth orchestra. We all learnt to play a recorder. We all had to learn music, how to read it. So it was a big part of our curriculum, music. Because we had someone who liked the orchestra, Miss Barnett. She was into music and art and literature. So, yeah, I've still got my music books. And I learnt the recorder. I wasn't interested in playing anything else. I mean, later in life I did a bit of guitar, you know, hippie days and all that. So, it wasn't what I call an academic school as such, not really. It didn't push you to pass exams, for example. I mean, when it came to the O-levels, this is really weird, nothing was compulsory. So they said to me, Sheila, what would you like to do, maths or English literature? So what do you think I chose? We had to do a certain amount of maths, but we didn't have to go in for the exam. So I didn't do maths when I was I did maths, but I didn't have to do the exam. I chose English literature. And I did pass it. I passed history and science and art. Yeah, we weren't trained for academia. We weren't trained for much, really, you know. But maybe nursing. And if you got really good, you could probably be a teacher. I did both of those in the end, nursing and teaching. And I went to university. I got university education in various ways. I went to Bournemouth College, attached to Reading University. Got my B.Ed there. I went on because I did feel unprepared because of my school. That hadn't pushed me enough. So I did a science degree with the OU. And then I did, what else did I do? Yeah, I did a master's in the science of MSc in nursing later. My mind was hungry for knowledge. And it still is. Family tree satisfies a lot of stuff for me. Finding out about family, looking at the socio-economic history of the times, you know, I find it really satisfying. So that's where I got accepted to do a doctorate in health, equivalent to a PhD. And I went to Wales, Cardiff University for a while. But do you know, I decided I'd had enough of academia. I just wanted to do tree. Yeah. I did various courses in genealogy, small ones, just to give me some background stuff. And I did lots of future learn courses. Still keeping my hand in science, by the way. I did a forensic course. I did archaeology. I did a load of stuff, science ones. Anyway, that's just a little rundown. You never stop learning and enjoy it. You know, as for maths, I did manage to go on a course with the OU to top me up. Because in science, when I did my science degrees, I had to know how to do equations. You know, I had to learn stuff. And those early tables helped. Those rote that we did. But I've never really got totally to grips with it. Because my mind was elsewhere. I think if I'd been programmed differently, I probably would have been alright with it. And I did like it, and I did try, and I did get extra lessons in it. But the OU helped, because we covered everything. You know, basic maths, arithmetic, algebra, quadratic equations. We did a lot. So I topped myself up, and I still got all that work. But of course, I can't remember most of it, you know. I liked geometry, actually. I remember that. I liked the strict rules of geometry and maths in a way. It did appeal to me, really, in many ways. But I haven't got retention now. It's like I've done a lot. I can't remember. It comes to me if I... It's like my tree. People say, oh, I said, I can't remember anymore. I'll have to go on the computer because I can't remember, even though I know it. And then it all comes back. Anyway, look at this lovely scene, everyone. Foxgloves are out. Lovely, peaceful scene in my Holford. And look how low the stream is compared to a couple months ago when I had to do some leaping. Possibly where I hurt my heel. Could have been, and wouldn't have known right away. Right folks, that's a little bit more story. Over and out.